Well, hello, and welcome to another edition of NAS Pensacola Today. I'm Patrick Nichols, Public Affairs Officer at NAS Pensacola, and as always, I'm joined by my boss, the Commanding Officer of Naval Air Station Pensacola, Captain Chris Martin. And to the captain's right, I've got our new XO, Commander Michael Harbison. XO, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Well, XO, you're kind of the new guy on the block, so let's talk a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? I would say welcome aboard, but you've been here for a while.
Yeah, I've been here for about 3 months on board in NAS Pensacola. But prior to that, I was at Naval Aviation Schools Command, just down the road on the base.
Local.
I was there for 3 years as the XO there.
Okay.
And I love Pensacola, and I'm really excited to be here.
And what's your background? What aircraft you fly on? When did you come through Pensacola the first time?
So I came through Pensacola at OCS in 1995, stayed here through VT10 at Trading Air 6. I'm a P3 NFO.
Okay.
So
the mighty P3.
Yes, the mighty Orion for fans of freedom.
Skipper's laughing.
Doesn't have a tail hook though. That's okay.
No. But I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
And like the captain, I enlisted in the Navy previously. I enlisted in 1986.
Outstanding.
Boot camp in Orlando. Navy nuclear power program. Volunteered for submarines.
Smart guy.
But did 9 years enlisted time.
Okay.
And I was picked up as part of the first class of the Seaman Admiral program. And 1995, and then off I went in the flying program.
Wow.
Previous duty stations are NAS Jacksonville, P3 base, and Norfolk. I was on the Harry S. Truman as a catapult and rescue gear officer, shooter. Mm-hmm. There's my tailhook time.
There you go.
And 2 tours in Bahrain on the Task Force 57 staff, and then the U.S. 5th Fleet staff, and another tour in Jacksonville as well before I came here. So
Wow, what a great career.
Yes, it's.
And you went from submarines to airplanes.
Yes,
That's
pretty submarines
unusual.
to submarine trackers. So,
Wow. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And you're prior enlisted. I know the captain you are too, and it's kind of unusual to have the two leaders of an air station as prior enlisted guys. I know Commander Dominguez was also, so we're kind of keeping that pattern going.
It is, and I've kind of mentioned it often. I think we kind of bring a different perspective to how we lead, and the fact that not right or wrong one way or the other, but do we just having been there. Mm-hmm. And I think it brings a different perspective. But it's funny, we were talking about, prior to the show, the XO, did he have any idea that he would be doing things like this in this job? And he had no idea. So now he's a TV star as well. Add that to his resume.
I wouldn't go that far. But
Well, welcome aboard, sir. It's good to have
thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's exciting.
It is.
Definitely
It's a great installation, and we love
awesome.
it. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, normally when y'all are on the show with me, you're dressed up in your whites or your service dress blues, but today we wanted to show off this new Navy uniform. You guys want to talk a little bit about that?
So I was thinking this morning about, we came in the Navy about the same time. When I enlisted in the Navy, it was dungarees. It was the bell-bottom dungarees with the dungaree shirt, and that's essentially the same uniform that my father wore when he enlisted in the Navy in 1939. And so it hadn't changed for, many, many years. And now since then, there's been several iterations of the Navy working uniform, with this being the NW Type 3s. That just came out recently, and I like it. It's comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's easier to kind of move around in. And it's cooler in the summer. But yeah, so this, I guess we're here to show off the new Navy working uniform, just so that people will know what we are. Right.
Yeah. It looks a lot like the Marine Corps uniform. I think Marines got a couple of different colors in it, but it definitely looks Navy. I mean, it's a great looking uniform. Again, it looks very comfortable with patch pockets and the patch elbows. And
they did a great job with this
reinforced knees and elbows.
So the newest sessions coming out of boot camp started wearing this October 1st, and by October of 19, it'll be the mandatory uniform for the Navy, and the blue one will be phased out by then.
This is taking the place of the blue one.
Right.
Yeah. That one kind of got mixed reviews.
It was
heavy.
It was heavier, but again, this is awesome. So,
but this just takes place of the blue uniform. You can still wear khakis. And,
absolutely.
With the flight suits.
Oh yes.
On Fridays,
it smiles.
Yes. Flight suit Friday.
I love the flight suit.
Well, that's a good looking uniform. Let's talk about some of the things that's been going on base. I know last week and this week we're having a big force protection exercise, Solid Curtain Citadel Shield.
We are, but if I can just back up just for a minute, Patrick, it's hard to believe that another year's gone by.
Yeah.
And, we were here last year. Very successful air show and some other events that were into the fall, and now here we are, into February. And again, Solid Curtain Citadel Shield is a large exercise that's conducted by U.S. Fleet Forces Command in Norfolk, and it's done across the Navy. So we're into week 2 of that. We're learning some things, which is, that's what it's meant to do, is to kind of exercise our security forces and other folks, and to learn from those I won't say mistakes, but learn from the way we do things and some others to refine our tactics and procedures. So,
and we work with our tenant commands, so to ensure their safety as well. Our base has 26,000 people employed, and we go through these exercises on the base, whether it's main side, quarry station, et cetera, and it's really to involve our tenants and make them aware of what's going on.
Makes sense.
And so they can exercise their tactics, techniques, and procedures as well. And we all feed up in the Fleet Forces Command and Navy Region Southeast, so it's important that we go through this at least on an annual basis. Well, obviously, we do it more frequently here at NAS Pensacola, but we have to keep our folks protected.
Right.
That's one of our main missions.
And during these 2 weeks, I know we've gone out with press releases and things like that kind of advise the people in the community that they may have a little bit of traffic backup. You're coming on the base, have your ID card ready, things like that, just to kind of alert everyone. And I know we had an active shooter drill last week.
Right.
Very exciting, very realistic. And Captain Glassy, one of our police officers, the head of training, the way he put it was, we can make mistakes during this, so that
Absolutely.
we don't make mistakes during a real thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's train like you fight, and I tell them all the time, as an aviator, we do a lot of armchair flying, but if you haven't thought about these scenarios prior to the actual event happening, which no one wants, then you're already behind. So very, very, very good that we do this training, involve the tenant commands, and that we educate the public on what we're doing and bring them kind of into the picture as well. So,
yeah, and we have these exercises not just during Solid Curtain Citadel Shield, but we have them throughout the year.
That's right.
And it kind of keeps everybody on their toes.
It's good, though.
Yeah.
It's good.
We're
learning a lot from them.
We had a great security force, great fire and emergency services. Our
Absolutely.
EOC is dynamic. They're getting better every time we meet.
Gulf Coast Fire and Emergency Service just awarded the top fire department in the Southeast region. So
Hold that thought. We're going to talk about that. That's a good one. And we'll be right back.
For years, I've trained dogs for the Marines, and like me, some of these dogs have seen many tours of duty. And for the past 15 years, I've been a Navy federal member. Thanks to their fast approval process, when it came time to buy a new car, we got everything we needed to transport my wife's little bundle of joy, who I just adore.
Open to the armed forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Navy Federal Credit Union.
At Red Door Property, we will teach you how to live for free. How? By fixing old houses and revitalizing neighborhoods. You don't have to be rich or particularly smart, just be willing to put in the work. We've been doing this since 1999, and we can teach you how to do it too. Our mentors will teach you the process of how to take a house from broken to beautiful. And we'll show you how to live for free while doing it.
Pensacola is a pretty special place, and so are its people. Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has had the privilege of serving our customers for over 65 years. We've done this by offering real value, excellent service, superior products, and by being part of the community we love. If you're ready for a new Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram, we're ready to help. Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Your community matters. So does making sure it's well protected. Because Sally's isn't just a cafe. And Smith's isn't just a flower shop. It's years of hard work and investment.
Hey, new equipment looks great.
And in this moment, you realize your independent auto owner's insurance agent is the right person to protect it. Auto Owners Insurance.
Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
And welcome back. Skipper, just before we went to break, you were talking about our fire and emergency services getting an award.
They did. So they got the award for the best, essentially, fire department in the Southeast region, large division.
Impressive.
It's very impressive. If you think about just the coverage, it's not only NAS Pensacola, but they have, Corey Station, Softly Field, Bronson, up at Whiting as well, NAS Whiting Field, and all their outlying fields. So it's a huge operation, and Chief Diaz and his folks just do an outstanding job every day. And very proud. I'm very proud to be part of the team.
And there's 17 bases, is that correct? 17 bases in the region?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they're the top of 17 bases. That's quite an achievement when you consider the competition.
Oh, absolutely it is. But that's again another integral part of being with the community is the mutual aid aspect, and the fact that Escambia County and our fire department help each other out. It should Escambia County could come on the base, or we could respond off base. So that's also a great community effort. To get the job done. So proud of them.
See those guys running around base all the time. They're always doing something.
Right.
It's good to see them.
They stay busy.
And speaking of awards, we got the Navy Times top 5 bases.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
That was amazing.
You sent me the text,
Absolutely
and
amazing.
I'm not surprised. No, I'm not surprised by it at all. But Navy Times, the top 5 bases in the Navy, we were number 3. But I need to point out we were the number 1 base in the United States, in CONUS, continental United States. So very exciting. It's just again, it's in recognition of not only the great work that we do on the base every day, but it also recognizes this great community that we live and work in. So it's and again, it's a team effort with Escambia County, Santa Rosa County, the city of Pensacola, and the surrounding communities to make this a great place not only for our folks to work, but also to live. So.
Yep,
very exciting.
Exactly. And I understand that Navy Times, of course, it's a magazine, it's a periodical. There was actually a survey taken, and we won, from a survey. So it wasn't just an op-ed piece, it wasn't just one person's opinion. There was actually a survey.
That's the key part there. It's how our sailors and civilians feel about our base, and how they feel about our interaction with our community. And like Captain already pointed out, we would not be voted like this if it wasn't for our community and the support we get from the Pensacola area.
Yep.
And it's the quality of life here, the cost of living, everything. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
And it's a beautiful base, well maintained. I mean, we've got tourist attractions, and I mean, you name it. It's a great place. It brought all us back here, didn't it?
I mean, the museum,
me too.
Museum, lighthouse, the forts. It's absolutely, and the history, just the history alone. And I know you guys covered that in the last show, just the history of this place.
We can always talk about history.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Another award, sir, we got the SECNAV Energy Conservation Award.
We did, so we're below glide slope, if you will, for the CNO mandate to reduce our energy consumption, and it's really exciting. But again, that's projects we're doing on the base for replace some of the lighting, simple things like window tinting on the barracks windows reduces the heat signature inside the building. So all those things combined work to reduce our energy. So another exciting award, just another award in many.
Well, like the XO said, we've got 26,000 people on board. And everybody's got their lights on. Everybody's using energy, but it's a concerted effort by everybody.
Absolutely.
Not just of course we're changing lights to LEDs, but getting everyone convinced to turn your lights out when you leave the office.
Right. Turn your computer off, and the small things that add up. So.
And I guess we did it. And this is not just a local award. This is the Secretary of the Navy award.
Right.
So this is a big one.
It is.
Another great achievement for NAS Pensacola. And Captain, you went to a governor's conference just a few weeks ago.
I did. So I may have spoken about it before, but Governor Scott holds a conference every quarter, and it's a different place every time with all the base commanders in Florida. And that's the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. It's everyone. This time was down in Orlando, in Naval Sport Activity Orlando. And again, it was just another great interaction with the governor. He's very receptive to the military. He's doing a lot of great things in the state of Florida. So it's always a pleasure just to go down and to meet him, and he brings his staff just to kind of work through some of the issues we're having locally that maybe the state could help us with. So again, I really enjoyed it as always.
So you go down there, and I mean, it's a panel of all the CEOs from all the military bases.
It is,
and everybody gets an opportunity to speak, and
you do. You kind of go around the table and get 3 to 5 minutes to kind of highlight the achievements that you've made and that we've made, and also some of those areas again that we could maybe get state or local help with to kind of solve problems. Public-private ventures, whatever it is. So it's I always enjoy it.
Outstanding. Well, Skipper, we were talking awards and all the great things we do out at NAS Pensacola, and we just had a huge achievement, and that was over 1,000 days ARI free.
Right. So without a alcohol-related incident. So I'll let the XO talk about that because he fielded a question, from someone basically asking how we did it. So.
Okay.
Right, and as of today, 1,036 days, which is unheard of in the Navy. And I've actually got a phone call last week from Millington, the Chief of Naval Personnel's office, asking how we did it. Wow. It's a tough question because there is no secret to this. It's educating your personnel, constantly beating the drum every time you meet with your folks. And up and down the chain of command at NAS Pensacola, every Friday with our junior sailors at quarters, we always talk about being safe, being smart, and making the right decision. And the Navy's actually looking at using us as a template for
no kidding
all their bases and the Navy at large to we are the template for staying alcohol-related incident-free. And it's as a new guy stepping into this, it's absolutely amazing. 1,036 days free, and you see it at other commands where they'll get a couple hundred, maybe 200-300, whatever. But almost 3 years. April will be 3 years.
I'm glad you said that. I was just trying to do the math in my head, and it wasn't
April 10th,
working.
right? April 10th will be 3 years.
So the other thing that they're reminded of that every time they walk onto the quarterdeck base. There's a big wooden thing there that has the number on it, and so peer pressure, which is a good thing, is part of it as well. They don't want to be, or you don't want to be that guy. So
you want to be the guy to bring it back to zero again. Yep. But whatever we're doing, it's working. I mean, I know we get a lot of guidance and a lot of encouragement from our senior staff. Like you said, XO, every quarters we have, and it usually comes out as praise.
Right.
Captain, I thank everybody for the great job they're doing and keep it up.
But again,
which I think that goes a long way.
It's the junior sailors taking care of each other.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
Outstanding. Well, we're getting the signal to go to break, so let's do that, and we'll be right back.
For years, I've trained dogs for the Marines, and like me, some of these dogs have seen many tours of duty. And for the past 15 years, I've been a Navy federal member. Thanks to their fast approval process, when it came time to buy a new car, we got everything we needed to transport my wife's little bundle of joy, who I just adore.
Open to the armed forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pensacola is a pretty special place, and so are its people. Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has had the privilege of serving our customers for over 65 years. We've done this by offering real value, excellent service, superior products, and by being part of the community we love. If you're ready for a new Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram, we're ready to help. Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
no, I'm fine, thanks.
It's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
And welcome back. Gentlemen, we've got so many things going on NAS Pensacola. We've got about 7 or 8 more minutes to talk. I don't know if we're going to squeeze it all in. But one of the big things that are coming up here in June, we've got some Coast Guard ships going to be home ported in NAS.
We do. So it's very exciting. We talked about it last time. So these are 2 medium endurance cutters that will be permanently home ported here with the 2 additional cutters coming in the next couple of years. What that'll essentially do is bring another 300 or so people to NAS Pensacola. And the base is open arms, ready to support. But more importantly, is that what it allows is every time these cutters, transit to and from whatever operating area, that's a visible presence for anybody that may be thinking twice about some kind of nefarious activities or whatever. So again, it builds on our coastal defense layers, if you will, with the Coast Guard. So again, extremely excited to have them. Again, the Pensacola continues to grow in our mission set, and this is just another part of that.
And with the ships coming, since they're home ported, I guess they bring their families as well.
They do.
So that should help the economy in Pensacola.
Absolutely. Yep.
Outstanding. And we have 2 of them coming in June and July,
July,
and then 2 more coming
the
next year.
Yeah, the next couple of years.
So we'll have a total of 4.
Right. Another 600 people.
And then we have the ciphers there.
Right.
It's often looking an awful lot like a Coast Guard station.
We're happy to have them. In fact, we already have a Coast Guard station,
right.
And then the Coast Guard obviously runs the White House. So now it's just another part, and we're welcoming them. Glad that they're coming.
Do you know are these ships, the medium endurance class cutters, are they the same mission as our Coast Guard station, or?
It's a different mission.
Is it?
It's
okay.
Different mission set, but so I think they're more offshore.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm looking at my notes here. They're a little bit over 200 feet long.
Right.
So it's a good size ship.
Yeah, they're medium endurance cutters, so they go out and support the mission, interdiction, stuff like that.
Okay.
So.
Oh, very interesting.
Oh yeah, they're not the buoy tender or the local law enforcement type. That's at the Coast Guard
they're
station.
getting bad guys.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty neat stuff.
Yeah.
So one thing, if we can back up, one thing that I didn't have on my paper, but I think it's March 17th is the Rock and Fly Half Marathon.
Good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
So the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, their annual fund drive is getting ready to kick off. But again, the Rock and Fly Half Marathon, it's last year was huge. I think this year we're expecting almost 3,000 runners.
Wow.
And they contributed almost $50,000 to Navy Marine Corps Relief last year. So, I challenge everybody to come out and run. I'm going to run it. I'm not a marathoner, but you know what? It's about getting out there and supporting Navy Marine Corps Relief. But it's a great event.
And it's the largest contributor to Navy Marine Corps Relief outside of Washington, D.C.
It is.
That's incredible.
It is.
And it's not just a run. That's what we got to tell people.
It's a fun run.
Exactly.
It's
they
a
have
lot of fun.
bands along the way and just entertainment the entire time.
I think they'll have ribs at mile 1 this year instead of the pigs in a blanket or whatever it is. So it's always a fun time.
That's a reason to run
2 years
there.
ago they had the bacon station.
Bacon station,
yeah,
right.
That's the bacon station.
I missed that. I'm going to have to try to do that one. But I'm glad you brought that up, March 17th.
I
that's
believe
St.
so.
Patrick's Day.
Right.
Yes.
Outstanding. And they have a different theme every year. I don't think it's St. Patrick's Day, but
this year it's a Americana theme. So it'll be interesting to see what some of the people come dressed up as.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's right.
I've kind of been challenged to dress up and run, so we'll see what I can come up with. So.
Outstanding. You going to run it, XO?
Maybe. I'll definitely be
Good
there.
answer.
I'll be there supporting, but I
All right.
don't know if I'll run or not. So.
There's something else happening in March. Of course, our own Blue Angels are coming home.
Yes.
They are. They'll be coming back from El Centro. Again, excited to have them back in town. And again, it's hard to believe that the last year went by so fast. It seems like the air show just ended yesterday.
Yes.
But when they come back into town again, start practicing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, especially when spring break rolls around, the traffic, particularly out the West Gate, will start to increase. So I'm very cognizant of it, and we're always looking at solutions. But just people need to be aware that there could be delays.
Okay, yeah,
because of the practice shows. So.
And people, again, people that are coming to watch just the air show practice, they need to come in through the back gate if they're a non-DOD card holder.
That's correct.
Which is majority of the people, they're tourists and they just want to see the blues fly, which is great, and it's a great opportunity to see the museum at the same time. But they need to come in the back gate, they need to have a valid ID card.
Right.
Everybody under, 18 or 16 in the vehicle, I think, have to have an ID. So it's basic stuff. It's not tough getting in.
But again, just to reiterate, around the spring break time, people need to understand if the Blues are practicing at 11 o'clock, if they're coming through the gate at 11 o'clock, they're not going to see them fly.
Right.
The traffic will be that bad. So, again, plan accordingly. But we're happy to have people on to highlight and showcase what we do in NAS Pensacola.
Yep.
Yeah, get here early and enjoy the museum, and then watch the Blues, and then enjoy the museum again. And and go to the QB Point restaurant there, which has great food.
Yep.
And it's surrounded by 80 years of
a lot of history.
memorabilia, and it's pretty awesome. And the new exhibits there at the museum as well.
Okay.
Oh yes, they've got several new exhibits.
So literally, they can make a whole day of it.
Absolutely.
Make several
Easy.
days with the IMAX and everything else.
Yep.
It's
phenomenal.
It's pretty neat.
And we've got, I've got my note here. Some of the, I said usual aircraft. Actually, I think I meant unusual aircraft that are going to be aboard the base over the next few weeks. Actually, the next few months. I know Top Gun's coming. I think that's in March as well.
Right.
Top Gun Squadron. And from what I understand, they come here because of the great flying over the Gulf. It's more like what they're used to off of an aircraft carrier instead of flying out in the desert out in Las Vegas.
Right.
But the people of Pensacola, they need to be aware that we're going to have some loud airplanes.
Right.
And they're not the airplanes that we're used to seeing, the T-6s and things like that.
So the Super Hornets are a little bit louder, but the reason they come to Pensacola is that you take off and essentially you're in the training area, and it's over 18,000 square miles of airspace out there. Wow. So again, a huge expanse of airspace. It's not crowded, and then again you get to come back to this great place and go downtown for dinner or whatever. So we're happy to have them back every year. It's great training for them.
Is it different as a pilot? Is it different flying over water in the Gulf than it is over dry air like out in Nevada? I mean, does that actually make a difference for those guys?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
I don't think so. But again, the altitudes they're flying, I don't think it affects it at all.
Yeah,
but,
they're up there pretty high.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then of course we've got several other debts coming to Pensacola. We've got VMM 774. They fly the MV-22s.
Why? That's the Osprey. So that'd be an interesting plane to see flying around.
Yeah. So, but again, we've got several squadrons are going to be here in the next month or so. So, just let people know that you're going to see some different airplanes flying above the base, and just enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, it looks like we're just about out of time. So again, I want to thank you very much for coming down and being with us today.
Thanks for
and
having
thank you
us.
for watching, and look forward to seeing you next month.
For years, I've trained dogs for the Marines, and like me, some of these dogs have seen many tours of duty. And for the past 15 years, I've been a Navy federal member. Thanks to their fast approval process, when it came time to buy a new car, we got everything we needed to transport my wife's little bundle of joy, who I just adore.
Open to the armed forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Navy Federal Credit Union.